welcome to Saurabh Sir's classes. In this video lecture, we're going to talk about how to actually crack the national level entrance exams that you need to take, be it for getting into a PhD program or be it for a lecturership program. So there are different kinds of entrance exams that you already know about. There's IIT JAM, if you want to get into master's program into the IITs. There is the UGC NET, which you can use both for a PhD fellowship or for lecturership. And of course, there are other kinds of other national entrance exams which people take all the time to get into PhD programs. So this video is actually going to cover all of the programs under an umbrella and how to crack them. So when I say that, it means that there is a general way of actually tackling all these exams. And of course, there are certain variations given what kind of exam we are dealing with, but more or less they all tend to be pretty similar in aspects. So we can talk about them in general, how to crack them. So the first thing is that you know that these exams, be it JAM or UGC NET, they are all MCQ type exams. MCQ plus MSQ type exams. Which means that when you're given a problem, you are given 4 options, and they're purposefully there to mislead you, of course, and only one of them is the correct option, and the rest of them are wrong. But that's the case with MCQ. For MSQ, multiple selection questions, it's just that it adds one more layer of difficulty. You have you have 4 options, and out of that, more than one can be correct, and you have to mark all of them. And so basically, you need to be a bit more careful with MSQs, because for MCQs, a lot of the times you can just take out all the wrong options by educated guessing, and you can often come at the correct answer without actually solving anything, without actually solving the problem. Now, I'm not talking about just guessing the answer, just looking at the answer and guessing it. I'm talking about educated guessing, because in a lot of exams, a lot of the options can be very close to one another, and if you just try to guess them, you have a chance of ending up guessing the wrong answer, which is obviously much higher than actually guessing the correct answer. So how to actually go about with these exams? Number 1, keep a cool head. Number 1 is always keep a cool head, because it's obvious. If you're trying to solve problems, you cannot be too jumpy and nervous. If you're nervous, your thought processes don't work properly. So you always have to be very calm and very cool-headed, and just tackle problems without getting fidgety, without getting anxious, because anxiety is a big adversary when you're actually taking an exam. When you're taking an exam, always try to keep your head cool. Next, read the problem. Read the problem. Read what is given to you, because the clue to the solution has been given to you in the question itself. If you read the question properly, you can guess the clue. You can get the clue, and you can automatically start basically making progress with the problem. You don't have to look anywhere else. You can just look at the question and read them and try to see what gives away the solution. Because oftentimes, if you read the problem properly enough, and if your concept of the problem is clear enough, you can often guess what kind of formula you need to use. So read the problem properly, And number 3, if stuck, move on. Move on. This is very important. There is no one problem that is going to make or break your exam. If you are simply stuck with a problem, if you're simply not being able to make progress, or if you're just confused, move on to the next problem. You might be actually able to solve it. And when you are done, you can come back, because this is a time-bound exam. You cannot afford to waste time. And it just might be the case that you might get stuck in one problem, but you can make progress with the next 3 of them. So always, if you're stuck, just move on. Don't actually waste time there. And as I said, the technique to employ when you're trying to actually solve the problem, the technique to employ is number 1, first, try to make an educated guess. Try to make an educated guess. Which relates to number 2. Read the problem and try to make an educated guess. Oftentimes, that is all that you need to solve the problem. If, let's say, you try to make an educated guess and you find out that you cannot rule out all the options. You have ruled out some of the options. Let's say out of 4 options you have ruled out 2, but there are still 2 options and you don't know which one can be correct because they both seem very close to one another. In that case, if can't rule out all options, all wrong options, try to find the right formula or relation. Try to find the right formula or relation to use. So in case that you cannot get away with educated guesses, the advice is to try to find the right formula or relation to use. Which is the right formula that you can use? Try to locate it. And number 3 is, of course, use the formula. Use the formula. And these 3 are basically all that you need, well, in most cases, to actually solve the problem. You don't need anything more than that. You can simply try making an educated guess first. If that does not work out, if that does not lead you anywhere, just try to pinpoint down the right formula that you have to use, and then go ahead with it. Make a few calculations, and you should be able to come at the right answer if you do it cool-headedly enough. Now, oftentimes in these exams, you're not allowed to use a calculator. So what to do? What you can do is, if you're not allowed to use a calculator, you obviously have to use mental math. But let's say that it's something that you cannot calculate mentally. Let's say 47 over 247. You have to calculate the ratio, and you don't know how to do it. And you have to go through long process of division, and you don't want to do it. You're too lazy. You want to move on. So there is one trick that you can use. Find out the number closest to 47, which is a multiple of 10, which is 50. Similarly, for 247 is 50. And you see that this automatically becomes much simpler, and it's 1 over 5, which is 0.04. So now you know that if 50 over 250 is 0.04, then 47 over 247 has to be less than 0.04. And if there's an option that you have which is less than 0.04, great. You've just located your answer without actually having to go through the painful process of taking making a division that involving 47 247. You actually just replaced it with two numbers which are very easy, which are multiples of 10 and very easily divisible, and basically you arrive at an estimate, at an upper estimate of the ratio. And oftentimes this is what you can do, and it's very handy in most of the cases. If you have any number which you don't want, which you have to perform a division of, and you cannot do it in your head, and you can always replace it with the nearest number that you know, that which you can divide in your head, and then you should be able to arrive at a ballpark estimate. In most cases that also works. So I hope you found this video useful, and thank you for watching, and have a good day.